What's up, everybody? So, you already know who it is. Targeted individual CJBK. Um, a lot has been transpiring over the last couple of days, and mostly for the better. Cause I'm gonna say this: I definitely have been breaking out of a lot of different, insecurities or shells and shedding more fears and everything like that. First thing first, remember, I live in New York City. New York City is home. New York City, New York City is home to about, I want to say somewhere between 8.5 and 8.8 million people. That's at least recorded. So you got to remember, at least somewhere about 65 to 75% of most of them, if not, 65 to 75% of all these people are connected to the cloud server. And then, actually, no, probably everybody is connected to the cloud server. But I would say 65 to 75% of them actively engage in gang stalking, right? Like actively choose to go do like gaslighting, actively doing things to like disrupt other people's lives. Like as I'm going down the street, like I pretty much like can tell by people's energy as I'm going by and whatnot. You can tell who's like looking at you, who's probably thinking something off about you. But you always gotta remember this one thing. You can't react to nothing that isn't clear and present, right? You can't react to nothing that's clear and present. If somebody gaslights you by saying something that low-key kind of upsets you or irritates you, don't give in to that. That's real weak bullshit, honestly, just to get you to act out so that they can say, look, he is crazy, see? Because remember, everything that they're doing covertly is to basically, is to make you even more sensitive to the other tactics that they're doing. So every electronic harassment tactic that they do, every, attack on your body that they do, especially like when you're like, especially in your home, and then when you decide to leave your home, everything that they do is to try to lower your frequency, and then it's to try to like get you to a boiling point, because that's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on trying to get you to a boiling point, so then at some point you will find yourself in a position that you would never have found yourself in, because they've been covertly getting you to do wrong things, so then you can join them in that crowd too. I mean, think about it like this: the majority of people who are linked up in this, and this is based off of what the handlers say. The handlers would say, "Oh, you snitching on everybody." By me talking about the server, by me talking about the technology and stuff, they're saying you're snitching on everybody. Meaning they coerced several people to do things that they would never do. They coerced several people to do things that they would never do, right? Most people already know they could do enough bad on their own. But it's already bad enough to realize somebody is now going to try to hinder your life and then say, well, if you don't do it, we can make your life a lot worse. So it's kind of like, when you think about it, remember the movie The Devil's Advocate? I was just trying to rewatch that movie, what was it, last night? And it's like, when you think about it, everyone starts off in this world generally as pretty good people, and then all of a sudden we get influenced by somebody else. Somebody else kind of like talked you into doing something then you kind of realize, yeah, this was kind of messed up. I probably shouldn't have did that. And then you eventually start to say, okay, you think to yourself you're gonna do better. You're gonna make better decisions. But then think like when you think about gang stalking and how the handlers are treating you, they're treating you just like how Al Pacino's character, the devil, was treating Keanu Reeves' character. And I just got chills when I said that, because it's all about getting you to look just as bad as they do, so then they can feel much better in the world. Like, it's like when you think about it, okay, their whole thing is like, oh, he's afraid to go to prison. They would say that through the voice transmission. He's afraid to go to prison. He got to go to prison. So they know, I'm not trying to go to prison. Who the hell wants to go to prison? Who the hell just walk around thinking I'm ready to go to prison? Nobody in a right mind wants to go to prison. People who are in prison wish they weren't in prison. People who went to prison don't want to go back. And then anybody who try to act like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, it is. Because if people are trying to break out from it, it gotta be a big deal. If people are willing to do everything in their power not to go, it gotta be a big deal. So here these people are steadily trying to see if they can influence people to do wrong against themselves, right? And it's like, I don't even know how to like really explain some of these things, but it's just like, it doesn't make no sense how these people got access to. Well, I mean, honestly, we all know that in deep dealings, dark dealings, closet dealings, backroom dealings, the CIA, the military, FBI, all those agencies, they all source out things to other contractors, and like people that's not even affiliated with the United States government. They source it out, and then they, next thing you know, somebody got some like military grade weapon out on the street and shit. So it's not bad. It's not bad enough that we got a gun problem in New York City, but now we got a whole ball game of electronic weapons that, to be honest, the NYPD can't even fuck with. They cannot. They might have spectrum analyzers, but do they know how to detect these transmissions? I mean, quite honestly, I've been able to actually record them with just an infrasound recorder, from my iPhone. I don't really know too much about audio editing, but I found out ways to when I save the recording, all I gotta do is increase the volume, several times, then just try to clean out some of the static and whatnot, and then next thing you know, you are hearing the voices. I had the recordings, but then I did a hard factory reset on my phone trying to see if I can clean out whatever stuff they got in my phone, but it didn't work. All it did was just erase everything. So I was just like, all right. But so you gotta remember, everything they're doing is basically to get you to do something bad so then you can look just as bad as they do. And then at some point, they want to make you destitute to the point where you get to a point where you feel like you have no other options. And then it's like, here comes that red hand. Here comes that red hand reaching out. See? Now you need us. Now you need us. And it's all a power game. It's all about power. And I'm not going for it. And you know what? I see a lot of, TIs, like, I'm not judging anybody or whatever. They figure, oh, I'm gonna just stay home. I don't want to take the gang stalking. There's a lot of perps outside and things of that sort. I'm gonna speak plain when I say this. Fuck all of that. I'm outside every day. I don't care how many of them is out there. I know they're not gonna do anything to basically mess up their whole system, because remember, they have to keep everything covertly. They're not gonna just blatantly outright come at you in the street. Even if it's like in a dark or something like that. Cause I leave my house 2:30 in the morning, or at least I wake up 2:30 in the morning. And I kind of anticipate every day, this might be the day that somebody probably pop out on me. But at some point, you need to just let it go. Let it go. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. But you can't let your mind dwell on something that somebody is saying is going to happen. The only person who knows the future is God. And I rest heavily on God. I make sure that my mind is not dwelling on anything that is out of my control. If it's out of my control, if I can't control it, then it's out of my mind. Look, if you decide you want to go to a restaurant and you want to eat out, I say go out and eat out at a restaurant. If you shouldn't really think so much about, oh, somebody might poison my food or somebody might do this. I say, look, find your place in the light of God, and just rest assured, if something is to happen to you, if something does happen to you, then you can do one thing. You could do one of a couple of things. You could just decide, well, I'm gonna just cook at home from now on. You could just always do that. Or you could make a complaint at the restaurant. Make sure you don't eat, too much of the stuff or whatever, And then you could tell the restaurant, hey, this made me sick, whatever. That's normal. People complain about food all the time, Or what you could do is you could just not go to that restaurant anymore. You can still eat out, just don't go to that restaurant. I go to bars all the time. You don't think I think about at some point, oh, this bartender might actually have something to slip in my drink, or it's a lot of people out here in this bar, oh, they might do some. Of course it runs through my mind, but you know what? I made my peace with the world, knowing just how messed up people are in this world. I made my peace with it. So if somebody is going to take me out, then God was just ready for me to go, And then on top of that, they're so busy trying to see if they can, or at least they're saying that they got a setup coming for me. I don't know, but I know I pay attention to quite a few things. I know they're hacking my Wi-Fi network. I see like mysterious devices that I don't know of that's on my Wi-Fi. And, with the V2K, they probably hear me read out my password to people, or, even if it's not that, I'm not the most technologically savvy person, so I don't necessarily know. Why are you all up in this lane? This is a bike lane, sir. See? I don't know. He's like trying to get around the cars, but it's like, you can't even fit in this lane. This is a bike lane. But anyway, so, and not for nothing, that could have been a gang stalking tactic too. But I can't, look, once it happened and I'm already past it, I'm over it. That's it. You just have to learn how to just live and let go. Live and let go. Live and let go. Live and let go. If you can't control it, let it go. If it's outside of your control, if it's outside of your body, let it go. That is the most powerful thing you can do when it comes to gang stalking, is learn to let things go. Most of the people that's doing this, most of the people that's doing the perpy stuff, they're only doing it because they're afraid to actually go against the grain. They're afraid to actually realize I have to actually fight for my freedom. They're afraid to actually think about it like this. And I love when I think like this. Do you know how many people throughout the history of humanity have lost their lives fighting for freedom. You know how many people lost their lives fighting for equality? And then on top of that, it's like when you think about all the people who have when you think about all the people who have sacrificed so that we can have the privileges that we have to this very day. I mean, it's a lot of people. But you know what? At the end, one person's sacrifice also led to the freedom of several other people. You know, like everything everything that Snowden did or Assange, they released information that could save lives. They released information that could basically help other people, help other people with, I guess, realizing that, there is an enemy even within these states, and they don't necessarily even have to use guns or whatever. They're just basically manipulating information, hiding information, But what else? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm tired of, feeling like I'm constantly, supposed to be a certain way based off of what everybody else thinks. I'm tired of feeling like, oh, because you don't think like us, you don't deserve to be, in the world that we have or whatever. Yeah, I'm about to clock out soon. My coworkers ran by me, so myself get out the way. But and you know what? Even though I'm being heavily gang stalked, and I get electronic harassment heavy like every day. Mike, all right, boy. So, but yeah, I'll catch y'all later, man. As always, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.